I realized that I can never be in the wrong place. I mean, even if I try to, which I have, I just can't be there, and it's not only is it just that my intuition knows, but it's also that God knows and God wouldn't let me, you know, because there have been times where I've tried to go to this place or that place and it's like everything's set up, everything's perfect. And then God just says no. And God says, look at this, we're moving you this way. Look at this. Pay attention to what I'm giving you here. And it's so funny because like God knows what's right for us. God knows what vibrates for us. And so do we. And it's funny, like when you start to really realize you are where you are supposed to be, even if your mind tells you it's not, or even if you think it's not, when we look back in hindsight, we always know, and things become clear. So first of all, you understand that you are where you are supposed to be. But two, you understand that you can never not be where you're supposed to be. Life becomes incredibly simple, incredibly easy. And it becomes incredibly so much easier to take decisions and to experiment and to explore with life because you realize you can never make a wrong move. You can never make a wrong decision. And it's funny because like I'm at that point where I realize like, yo, if I made a decision, I would back out or I would turn around way before I even got to the point where it would be bad. And that's true. And if I were to ever make a big decision in my life, I would never be allowed to do that thing if it wasn't for me. I'm talking big things like where you want to live, who you want to date for the rest of your life. These are big things. And, I personally, I've noticed in my life, like, I actually have been gifted with a lot of things, whether that be the awareness of being able to see how people are, or the awareness just to understand how God works. That I'm grateful for. And so rather than trying to look for what is right for us, why don't we embrace what we know is right for us? Right? Because it's obvious. Even if you feel like you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, deep down you know. Deep down you know what the right step is. And it doesn't matter if that's, you have a 50-step plan and you're 5 years ahead. Even just knowing what the right decision is now, you always have that. You always know what is the right decision now, even if it is just taking a nap, resting, having a break. And so when we are able to say, not worry about, oh, what is the big thing, the right thing that I should be doing, putting my life path on for the next 5 years. No, forget that. What is the right thing for you right now? And that's okay. That allows us to be more present and to be okay with living life right here and right now. And that's beautiful. Beautiful, And the words of me just saying that don't capture the actual beauty and joy of actually being here and now, living presently in the moment. And so I want us to kind of embrace what we are here for, embrace our abilities, our skills, our talents. You are someone who has skills or talents, or there's something that you have that not everybody has, something that you're good at that not everybody is. And I want you to embrace that, not because it's what you should do. No, it's because it's what you were made for. You were good at that for a reason. It's a God-given gift. It's part of your nature. And so I believe that, we are all talented individuals and we have something to offer, something to provide, to create in this world. And so I think we also owe it to ourselves to embrace that, And I truly believe that. And I think that when you start to realize like, oh, I'm always, no matter what I do, I'm making the right decisions. No matter what I do, God would never let me make the wrong decisions. You realize, damn, like you realize that level of divine protection you have on yourself. Because I realize it and I'm grateful for it. So there's no wrong moves. There's no wrong moves, right? You play a video game. Are there any wrong moves? There might be non-beneficial things, sure. But no matter what other path you take, you're still going to be leveling up. You're still going to be growing. So explore, experiment, have fun with life. Hello. I even feel like that's something I get here. You know what I'm saying? Like, people think that life has to be this grind, and it only has to be if you think it has to be, you know? Growth isn't always linear, and growth doesn't always look the same, especially when that growth is internal. A lot of people like to focus on the external things, but I think that growth starts within first before it can really be reflected out there in the world. And that's true. Like, if you want to be a successful business owner, well, what does a successful business owner feel like? What they act like? How do they feel on the inside? How do they move in this world? How do they make things happen? So it's something to think about, is, changing first from the inside, embracing that vibration first on the inside before you go out there and do it. Because let's just face it, if it's not aligned, it's not aligned. You feel me? So you got to align yourself with it. That is the nature and the law of resonance. And that's kind of how, like, also when I say, like, things naturally happen, it's because, like, yeah, you are resonating at a certain frequency. And of course, people who are naturally at that same resonance, like, you all easily find each other. You all easily balance each other because there's no conflict. There's no one person's here, one person's here, and they have to find that middle ground. No, you're already here. And so if you can be like that with your goals and your dreams, where you are resonating here and your goals are resonating here, there's no resistance between you and that thing. And that's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? So when I say you can't go down the wrong path, it's because if you're already vibrating at a high level, something that's down here, it can't touch you. It can't go up here. The only way it would even be possible is if you let yourself go down there, which obviously we don't do that. We stay up here. And so it's a simple thing. It's a funny thing. But yeah, like, that's just life, that's just how things are. And that's all, I feel like that's all I really have to say. So, hope you have a wonderful day.